G'day folks, Andy here from McDowall Manor. Okay, so you can see we've started pulling it down. It's a rainy old day again. So step one is we just want to move that house forward, which will be no mean feat. So we're not looking at replacing the wire or fixing any of that up. Just want to get that house forward. Alright, here it goes. So there's the poor old chicken house in a catastrophic state of disarray. So it was right up against that rock wall. It's now been moved a panel forward. This front corner post, the blue one with the ladder there, if you follow along that beam there, you can see we've taken a chunk out from over there, which has dropped the roof on an angle. Can't quite see it as well as you should because the corrugated plastic stuck up against the ladder. It's not it's not on the roof. The problem is, and you can see we've just jerry-rigged things up to hold the chooks in, that, I'll see if I can get to a spot where you can see it. That post, the one that the blue one is screwed to, has cracked the concrete. Yeah, you should be able to see that, and it's rotted way off. You should be able to see that it's rotted at the concrete as well. So that's going to have to come out of there, and we'll put a new one in. Once I've done that, that will then allow me to drop that other post over there, so the whole roof's on an angle. And we're still debating exactly how we'll wire this up. We've gone from a grand plan that goes pretty much most of the way around where the girls are, to a reduced plan where we just try to wrap-proof the immediate house and where the food is kept. And then the rest just stays open with an open roof for the girls to use as they want to, sort of like a free range area. Now the smaller the area we try to wrap-proof, obviously, I think the better it's going to be. Alright, so that front corner post's out. It's actually, this is the second time I've put this post in. That pile over there is the concrete that for some reason just didn't set. I don't know what the hell happened there, but so I put one in on that corner that had to be replaced. Then I figured I wasn't going to use posts, that structural blue pine anymore for posts, because it obviously rots. So I put another fence post there. The structural pine behind the chook there, that one's in actually pretty good. So I didn't bother to take that out, and then I put a fence post in the corner. They're all cut off roughly the same height. Now what I will show you is the roof, because at the moment it's real dodgy, but it's an easy fix. Okay, you can probably see that really nothing is on our posts. That whole roof gets picked up, moved backwards, that way backwards, and this way as well. And that'll straighten up. Those two back posts are sort of bending over at the moment. That's only because they're holding all the way to that front pretty much. So that should fix up pretty nicely and then get screwed into place. I'm not going to do it until I know the posts are in and set, because otherwise I'm just, everything will fall over in the middle of it and you'll hear much bad words that I can't put on YouTube anymore. Anyway, so that's our current progress. So at the end of the day, I've got the posts in. The lattice there is just temporary to keep the chickens in. I do actually now have capacity to keep the chickens in the coop, which is a good thing because they've pretty much bloody destroyed the garden. Now I'll just give you a look. You see there's wire on top of things and little fences over things. Not that it's really stopped them. I lost all my shallots. Most of my beans are gone, but it is what it is, I guess. So obviously I'm going to have to add a frame around that door. So there'll be a bit on the bottom, and I'll add a bit inside just to stop it swinging back inside. It opens outwards now, which is going to make life much easier. The only thing I'm not happy about is that front post ended up on a lean. I just couldn't straighten the roof quite enough. I guess in hindsight I should have pulled the whole bloody thing apart, took it completely down and rebuilt it from scratch. But of course that would have made it 3 times the job, and it's been a big enough bloody job as it is, quite frankly. But yeah, I thought I'd show you that. So I'm finishing work now. Chickens are locked where the chickens ought to be, and we'll continue on in due course, wiring up the outside. Now we've had a bit of an epiphany. I was going to say but it's probably more Rosie than me. God bless her. We got a new chicken feeder, and that means that at night that shuts up, and they're not knocking grain all over the place because it's too deep. So there's no food for the rats. So I don't actually have to make the coop completely rat proof. I just needed a good way to keep the rats away from any potential food, and it's always in that bin, which is always shut, and the rats can't get in. And when I thought about it, I thought, well, the issue is not really keeping the bloody rats out of the chicken coop, because they don't cause much grief for the chickens. It's keeping them away from my plants. So what I might try and do, and you can see I've started playing with some polypipe on the end of the aquaponics bed there. I might try and work out a way to put a cover over that, just to keep the rats off that. I think that'd probably, between having no food, the fact that they can't get to what I really value on that aquaponics bed, because that's where the good stuff goes, and they can't get any chicken food, and there's a python in the yard somewhere, I think we might have resolved our rat problem in a way that I never really anticipated. Go figure. So it's pretty much done. Well, in fact, I'm going to call this done. It's not how I thought it was going to be when I started, but that's okay. That's okay. It did move forward like I wanted, so it's off the rock wall. I can actually get up on top of that rock wall now, which is an added bonus. Mostly it's wire, you can see. I haven't been obsessive about it this time, so it doesn't go all the way up the top. Remember, it doesn't need to keep the rats out. I've used lattice up there because it was easy. But yeah, I think that'll do the job. So those posts are obviously a lot heavier gauge. I'm hoping they'll be okay. They should last a hell of a lot longer. And I think I'll post this clip up now. What I haven't done, and I'm not in a hurry because we're coming into winter, is I normally have a shade structure erected over all this, because in our summer you need it. But I'll put that up in due course. I've certainly got ample bloody posts left over. As you can see, spare wood from where I pulled the other stuff down. So the yard's not as tidy as I'd like yet. But we're getting there. And I now pronounce launch of the chook shed. Woohoo! Alright folks, see ya.